Oh, hey, good evening. Welcome to another riveting edition of The Ghost and the Goat. I am your humble guest, your humble host, Paranormal Investigator. My screen is like wicked blurry. Hold on a second. Give me a second. I don't know what the hell's going on with this shit. All right, yeah, I'm your humble host. I guess it's a little clearer. Paranormal Investigator, Buddy Thayer. Usually I don't consume alcohol during the week, but this is a light beer. This is the Ghost and the Goat, by the way. This is not the beer show. This is not to be confused with my beer show, which I'll be doing. We'll be doing next week. But it's a really warm day here in New England. If you're from the New England area, if you're in Rhode Island, God, it was like a balmy like 72 today. It was gorgeous. The sky was blue. The birds were tweeting. I went to the gym after work. I killed it. Oh, it's amazing. I'm feeling the juice. I'm definitely addicted to the juice. So I don't usually drink beers throughout the week, but it was like one of those like days, And I'm like, you know what? Get a couple light beers in there. I think I'm gonna like. It's like water. It's like it's a fine pilsner. It's a light. It's what my grandmother drank. It's great on a warm day. What else is good on a warm day? So we're gonna tonight's show. Before I get into what else is good on a warm day, tonight's show we're gonna the goat Bams, of course. He's trotting in another field this evening. So I'm gonna pepper in a tiny bit of sports. Really, not even really. I'm not even gonna really I might not even pepper in sports for you this evening. No, sports might get peppered in throughout the show. I can't really tell. Usually I do a little bit of sports talk to start the show. And then we get into our paranormal guy. But tonight's guest is not only a paranormal guy, he's a big time Boston, New England. He's a New England Patriots fan, which is unfortunate. But I'm sure he likes all the other great sports teams in New England that are not the Patriots. Speaking of great sports teams in New England, the Boston Red Sox, they're ahead 2-1 over the Seattle Mariners right now. They're in the top of the fifth inning. Jaron Duran hit a leadoff triple. Guy is fast. Depression's gone. He's putting his energy into baseball. Positivity, dude. You don't have to make those bad decisions. Turn that frown upside down and just like really start focusing on hitting that baseball. And he did. And it's benefiting nobody but myself. So the Boston Red Sox are ahead right now, 2-1. I'm hoping that they can hold that lead. I was so excited about baseball because my football team is such a bag of trash. The Miami Dolphins. They as much promise and hope as they give me throughout season after season, off season after off season. I should just know at this point. There's nothing paranormal about it. They're just never gonna. I don't know. They are going to consistently grind my gears as they're doing right now. So I was all excited about baseball starting. Like, baseball, yeah. And all the good stuff that came with the Red Sox and all the hype. It's like, oh my God, it's gonna be a great season. And then it hasn't really been such a great season. So I've been a little stressed out with that. The Boston Celtics, though, are on their way, hopefully, to another NBA Finals, NBA championship. Without Tatum, Tatum bruised his wrist, and he took the other night out, and they still managed to score over 20 points against Orlando. They took the magic right out of Orlando. I'm hoping they'll do the same tomorrow night, and they'll just like piss through the Magic and go on to. I think they can beat. I've been saying it for about a month now. I think that the Boston Celtics are gonna crown the next title, and I'm hoping that it's against like the Lakers. That would just be great for basketball. It'd be great for me. It'd be great for New England. It'd be great for Boston. Whatever. And then and then the football season's gonna start again, and I don't know. I don't know. We'll talk more about that later, I guess. We get the NFL draft this week. Again, my Dolphins are picking 13. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm hoping offensive line. I'm hoping like somebody replace like their dwindling defense that is like slowly pissing away. I'm just hoping for something. I'm hoping for something. I've heard like rumors about Micah Parsons. I'm not going to really get into it right now. It's all probably hootenanny. They'll probably trade away Tyreek. They'll trade away Jalen. Tua will have his 17th concussion. He'll be comatose. He'll be like Jim Carrey in the movie Ace Ventura. Like he played that role. Yeah, he'll be shut off completely. So I'm not no high hopes. I don't know. Who knows what will happen? The Red Sox, fortunately enough, the Red Sox, baseball's a long season, 162 games. So we're already we're a little bit above 500. They could turn it up in May. All-star break. We could really turn things around. I'm probably just pissing myself. But I'm drinking some good, delicious, watery beer this evening. Tune in next week before I get to our guests this evening, tune in next week to Three Dudes Brews. Three Dudes Brews, we're doing the, no, not Three Dudes Brews. I'm doing the fundraiser for the Varnum Memorial Armory. Feel free to buy tickets. It's on. We did this last week. I did this the week before. I talked about the Armory a little bit. This is one of the posters. I showed you guys where to buy tickets on Eventbrite.com. Go into there. It's Beyond the Veil. Christina Marie. She's amazing. This is not her, obviously. That's a cartoon of her, I guess you could say, and a graphic design, if you will. And there's many other posters circulating the socials. So pick one of them. Some of them have the little scan me, the little QR thing on there. Scan that. Half the benefits from the event will benefit half the proceeds from the event will benefit the Varnum Armory. These are the people from the Varnum Armory. This is stuff that they do. They do not only house these amazing artifacts, but they conserve and restore and keep sacred and educate others about the amazing. It's amazing bloody gloves. I've talked about all this recently. Their curator is going to be on the show next week. Patrick Donovan. He's going to be talking about UFOs, though. That's going to be the shit. But I'm sure he'll drop a few Varnum. He has a lot of Varnum stories that pertain to the paranormal and pertain to history. So it's always a good time. Yeah, that's all I really got for you. And tune in. That's what I was going to say. Three Dudes Brews. Next week we're going to do the do two back-to-back shows. Or usually every other week. Catch us next week as we do the Light Beer Challenge. It's going to be the live podcast. We're going to put out the episode 9 from Crooked from Craft and Hope Brewing in lovely scenic East Greenwich, Rhode Island, from this past weekend, and very soon. And the following week we'll have on Yankee brew writer Heather Bryant will join us as our special dudette of the month. She'll bring out a beer. She'll talk beer. We'll talk beer. It'll be a good time. One more sip of my beer. I love beer. Things I love most about beer is going to scenic and beautiful beach communities, especially like the one that you got to take a boat to. And people from all around ask me like all the time. They're like, "Hey, buddy, I'm coming out to Rhode Island. Where can I go that's haunted?" Go to Block Island. What's on Block Island that's haunted? Everything. Everywhere is haunted on Block Island. One of the things that aren't haunted on Block Island is tonight's guest. He's owner. Well, maybe he is haunted. He's the owner of the proprietor of the Block Island Ghost Tours. What else? He's quite the musician. He comes from a very musical family. His mom was actually my elementary school teacher, which is kind of a weird fun fact. And I don't know, he's a hell of a guy. Welcome to the show, Rick Lysik.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Not too bad, dude. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. I was just with Mrs. Lysik. Told her I was going to be on the podcast, and she wanted me to send her regards.
Oh, big cheers to Mrs. Lysik. Oh my! Honestly, I saw it. I think I saw a picture on. I think it was on Facebook. I think it was probably. Was it Poor People's Pub? Is that the one out there on the island?
Yep.
I think I saw Dan Millay, he's got to be in his 90s. He was my 4th grade teacher, who I'd love to see him again. But if not, I understand he's probably not Oh, maybe it's
Oh,
Bob in these days. I don't know. But
oh, you can find Dan at Poor People's here and there in the
yeah,
afternoons,
oh, that's
for
great.
usually with his newspaper.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
that's epic. That man was an epic teacher. Great man. So what's going on, Rick? What Black Island Ghost? So what do you guys open for? Do you guys have a season? Are you open for the season yet?
we are this week. We are starting to run the tours again and do some more investigations. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
we're getting going.
What are you doing for investigations over there now?
Well, there's a private investigation that I just keep on going back to. It's a super haunted, super active place,
Yep.
and
Is it a home or is it a
it's
business?
it's an apartment above businesses. It was the old
Oh, nice.
post office
Oh,
building.
oh, okay. Right on the main drag there.
Yep, right across from Captain Nick's, next to the
Oh,
grocery store.
oh, that's fantastic.
And voices, people have gotten pushed, people have getting touched, people getting locked in, locked out. It's
Oh,
yeah.
that's great,
Um
dude.
and it's funny because it's the housing for the ladies who work at the bank, and during the
Hmm.
winter, it's just one lady, and she's a friend of mine, so she lets us go over there and take the gear over, and she's the
That's awesome.
bravest lady I know.
Yeah, for sure. So you would say
Yeah,
it's like it's like an aggressive feel over there,
it
or what do you
is.
think? Yep,
It is, and I'm not sure if it's human. Um,
really.
yeah, it's real intense, and we've
Hmm.
gotten all sorts of. She'll text me on a random Thursday, like, was heading to my bedroom, was told to get out, gonna sleep on the couch.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I would.
pretty. Well, it's direct at least, and is she safe on the couch?
She says that she lets it do its thing, and she does
Okay,
her thing, and sometimes they, don't get along.
okay. What then? What I've heard like horror stories about like negative entities. Um, it doesn't. Not that it doesn't. I'm not at all versed in this investigation form, but how do we know it's not like just an asshole that died and he's still an asshole and he wants his space versus an inhuman trying to like dominate and control and destroy. What are your thoughts, Rick?
Um, well, we're not sure. That's the thing. I mean, growling is a pretty consistent thing
Oh,
that
really?
goes on there, and I've heard some people growl, but not very not very
Right.
often.
Have you
Um,
have you captured the growling on audio or video
oh
for that
yeah,
matter?
yeah,
Oh, really?
we have audio. 2 winters ago, we was doing an investigation there. About 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, we were leaving. We had a medium with us, and that
Nice.
medium got pushed down the stairs, ended up with about 11 staples in her head.
God damn, dude, that's pretty.
Yeah,
That's pretty severe. I mean,
yeah, it's the craziest thing I witnessed.
still could be an asshole, but I mean that's like a real asshole. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
like dude, why you gonna push somebody down the stairs? There was a home in Johnston, on Greenville Ave. It's now a home. It was a group home at the time. My mother used to work there. My mother still works for the company. She works in the Coventry House now. This was a home that I investigated a few times after the fact, but my mother's she get some not great vision, but she did okay on the stairs. There were plenty of rails. She was at the top of the stairs. She she swore up until this day that she doesn't know how she fell. She just fell and tumbled down the stairs. This big grand staircase. It was a house that belonged to a Johnston senator, like state senator. So they had some money. So then years and years later, I went in there with a medium. And the medium stops at the bottom of the stairs, and she looks up the top of the stairs. She's like, "It's like a woman got pushed down these stairs." And I look at her like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, okay, all right, go
Yeah.
on. And she's like, she was pushed by another woman, and that woman hates children. Like, oh god, this is like I didn't tell the medium anything about where we were. I'm like, you're just gonna meet me at this address in an hour. All right, cool, that's great. And she knew that. She knew that this woman like tortured children and was
Oh
like an
no.
evil nanny, I guess. So I mean, I think like real evil actually walks on this earth at one time or another. I don't, maybe in human form. I don't know. I think real evil is inside your everyday Joe. I don't think it has to be like supernatural, although it probably could be. I mean, ignorant to say that it's not. But I mean, yeah, what are your thoughts, Rick? Do you think what do you think? What do you think about that?
I hope not. I hopefully it's just a confusion, you know,
Yeah.
something that brings on those feelings, frustration. But I it could be. I mean, if there's a good, people say that there's an opposite to everything, so there could be a bad.
Have
But
you had any like spiritual or religious deities go in there with you, or
just the mediums.
just a medium?
Yeah,
So no blessing. Did they do any sage, any scrubbing, anything like that?
there
Any
was,
cleanse?
and
Yeah.
the woman who lives there has had, you know, has
Hmm.
had professionals come in and try to really scrub the place, and
Yeah. So
nothing
nothing. No.
nothing seems to work.
Wow. Okay. All right. So go on with your this is makes sense to the about the demonology side of it. Any other like holy shit like other than getting pushed down a flight of stairs, and 11 staples
Uh,
stories.
we have a tour guide who's very empathetic, you know,
Yeah.
and she refuses. Now, when we do our tour, we take her along the spirit box, you know, not really to communicate, but mostly to just to show the
Yeah.
people um,
It's a
what's up.
novelty. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and you know that we do use these tools, and here's some of the tools, and yada yada yada. And we have this one girl. Every time she turned on the spirit box, it was something aggressive. Um, and, you know, these in front of tours. Sometimes there's kids on the tours calling her
Oh yeah.
horrible names.
Oh boy.
Um, and she believed that it started following her home, messing
Hmm.
with the mechanics in her everything in her Jeep, especially. But
Oh boy.
you know, brand new Jeep, one turn on, alarms go off for no reason whatsoever. And she still does the occasional tour, but never with the spirit box anymore.
Jesus. So this is a house that you take tours on too. You bring people into this house, or
it I brought people there in the wintertime. In the
yeah.
summertime, it's usually too busy to because they have other employees staying there.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, they pile them in the summertime, but you know we snuck in the summertime too.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, she's a friend of mine, so the
Yeah.
house is, if she's around and we want to go, we can go.
That's cool. That's cool to have that in. I get that at a few places where one in particular I have the key and an alarm code, so I can go in. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna come in. I'm just gonna like do this and that. And they're like, oh yeah, God, yeah, all right, cool. It's great to have that. It's almost gives it that like researchability and to have a location like that that presents in all different forms of um, from being touched to hearing voices to disembodied to EVPs, to all aspects of the paranormal. To be able to have that all the time,
Oh yeah,
it's
daytime,
tremendous.
nighttime, you
Yeah,
know, different types of day, different sets, people.
weather, yeah, right. Different times of year, different moon phases.
Sure,
Like the
yeah, it's
possibilities are endless. Honestly,
so I got another cool little something. I should have sent you the picture ahead of time so you could have popped it up. But you
it's
know
all right.
about the Harborside fire that happened out
Yeah,
here.
yeah, oh, yeah. That sucks, dude. Are you relocated, by the way? Are you?
We are on the street, on the main street. We don't have a physical location this year,
Oh,
which is great, to be honest with you.
oh yeah, right. All
The
right, go on. I'm
overhead
sorry. Go on.
downtown is pretty expensive, if you know what
Oh,
I
I
mean.
bet. Oh, yeah, I can imagine. My God.
Well, we're actually across from the movie theater at the end of Old Harbor this year, where you'll find me on the
Nice,
street.
nice.
Um, but like I said, the Harborside burnt down at the end of the season before
Yep.
the summer before last, and at the time it was probably our most visually seen ghost. It was a woman coming in and out of the room 213,
Oh
and
man.
it was getting so popular that people were, you know, were starting to come and book that room just
Oh,
for that. The people
that's great.
who are into ghosts.
Yeah.
Um, so being the ghost tour guy after the fire, everyone's calling me up and they're saying, you know, Rick, what do you think happened to the lady in in 213? And for about 10, 12 days, I didn't have an answer. And then I'll actually post this picture on my Facebook so you can repost it so people can see it. But the night of
Yeah.
the fire, you see the fire in the background, And then the window of 213, you actually see a blue and a pink woman. It looks like there's two women coming out of the fire. It's pretty
No
cool.
shit. No
Yeah.
shit. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
And who took that photograph? Was that you, one of your people, or?
it was some. I mean, the whole town was out there that night.
Oh yeah,
so
right. Everybody.
I don't remember who took the photo, but it's definitely that night. You can see the hotel, you can see the fire in the background,
That's incredible.
and it looks like she's just flying out the window.
So what do you think? What do you think happens to a spirit like that when they get displaced? When their haunted house burns down, Rick? Do they stay on the land? Do they go somewhere else? What do you think?
I think a lot of them actually moved right next door to the Oddfellows building.
Oh yeah, okay, that's an old building.
That's an old building, yeah. Also built in the 1880s, right around the same time that the Harborside was.
Yep.
And from that point of that fire, the Oddfellows building was always active, but it's increased tenfold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
And
that's awesome.
There's a cafe downstairs, but they don't go upstairs.
Yeah, I remember the cafe. I ate in that cafe. That was they had good food.
Yeah, they do. They sure do. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I think they just moved next door and waiting for the new Harborside to be built whenever that happens.
Oh, they're going to build it. They're going to rebuild.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. So that'd be like the first modern hotel on Block Island in a long time, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Everything on that main street, not everything, but most things have burnt at least once. Something,
wow. Yeah.
Something about wind and fire out here that.
Well, yeah, right. That you guys, it does get gusty out on the island, especially right there in Old Harbor.
We got lucky when the Harborside fire happened that it was a very, very still night because
they contained it.
Yeah,
because those are all. I mean, none of those buildings are really all that new, right? I mean, most of them are at least 100 years old.
Exactly, and they're not built the same way. You know, there's no fire cutoff, fire traps. I think they're called. That will stop it once they get going. They go.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the other thing, viewers. If you've never been to scenic Block Island, there is nothing mainstream on Block Island. You will not find a Dunkin' Donuts or, unfortunately, a Starbucks. You'll find a liquor store. You'll find the BIG. You can even get plenty of great products there in the grocery store. But you find a ton of great restaurants. But there's nothing. There's no McDonald's. There's nothing out there.
No street lights.
Right. That's right. There's no street lights. There's like a rotary, and there's a bunch of and there's dirt roads, which slows down any driver for sure. But there's nothing, and all the action is like right there when you first pull in. And then there's some action in the new harbor, which is like you could throw a rock. And then the rest of the island, it looks like old Britain. It looks like the rolling hills and the stone walls and the more deer population than there are humans.
Absolutely. 400 miles of stone walls out here.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So what I know you the last time we spoke, your ghost tour did quite a bit of history tours out there on the island. What's some of the history out there that you take people to that you talk about?
Well, we do the Palatine, which I'm sure you know about. It's our most famous ghost story. We do, some of the serial killers who were brought up here. We've talked about.
There's more than one?
Well, there was brothers.
Oh,
brothers.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hayden and Jeffrey Clark. Hayden's referred to as the cross-dressing cannibal killer. So they yeah, I know.
It'd be like transgender.
Well, not trans, but a cross-dressing.
People eating. Oh yeah,
people eat.
Yeah, to be all LGBTQ. Yeah, all that nowadays.
Well, we got to.
But yeah, go on.
we got to get it straight.
Yeah, for sure.
So he was convicted of killing a 4-year-old girl and a 23-year-old woman, but he's suspected of killing up to like 11 or 12 more, including taking 2 girls off the ferry in the early 80s, taking them, burning their bodies, and burying them in the dunes over by where the Yellow Kittens bar is.
Holy shit! No way, huh?
Oh yeah.
Wow, I didn't know he did stuff out. I thought he was just like vacationing there and killed people on the mainland. That's pretty awesome. I mean, that's horrible that he did it out there, but I mean, it's pretty horrible that he did it. Period. But
well, the FBI came to the island with him actually, And when he got here, he said he couldn't remember where he had buried the girls. So the water had shifted the dune so much that
Oh
he
yeah.
wasn't exactly sure. So they didn't find anything out here, but it was self-admitted that he did do that.
When was that? The 60s, 70s?
Late 70s, early 80s.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Jesus.
Oh, he's still alive.
Yeah, he's locked up, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Both him and his brother. His brother was convicted of he had a neighbor who he was into, and he, the way I tell it on the tour is I asked her over, he put the moves on her, she didn't like that, he didn't like that, she didn't like that.
Oh, that bitch.
So what do? Strangle her, eat her,
Yeah.
throw the remains in the trunk of his car,
Dump her
drive
body
around.
in like Rodman's Hollow or something like that. Oh god. Oh man, that's scary. So what else? Palatine Light, for those who don't know, it's was that like a 17th, 18th century ship.
Yep.
I think there's a date that it actually crashed, and it crashed on Block Island. They lit it afire.
Yep. It got here the day after Christmas.
Oh, festive time. Welcome to City Block Island. Let us steal your goods and light your ship on fire.
Yeah. So the islanders out here at the time, they were considered. Some of them were considered the wreckers, and what they would do is they would light a fire, and then they would have a donkey with another light attached to it go around that fire, making it look like a false lighthouse. Crash them out the rocks, go and take take what they wanted before, either getting rid of the troublemakers or bring them back to the island.
Yeah.
There was one of the ladies who was driven mad by everyone dying on the way over here because they had a bunch of stuff go on with their water. Yeah. And she said she didn't want to go to the island. So the crew said, listen, we'll get everyone else off. We'll come back for her later. But she got lost in the shuffle. They burned the boat. She was still on it.
Oh.
Yeah. Two of the other women survivors on the boat were referred to as Long Kate and Short Kate. Very original. But they were considered the island seers. And so when we think seer, we think clairvoyant, maybe a little witchy.
Medium. Yeah.
And Long Kate was a pretty famous witch, basically. And she would take things, she would get wood from the Palatine and carve them into like a pestle and mortar. And they would have to put it under a rock under 6 feet because of wherever it was, it would just fly around and beat the hell out of everything in the house. Yeah. So, yeah.
So now people perpetually see the ship ablaze completely out in the sea. Over the years, I've read a lot of documented reports of it, but I've never met anybody who has actually seen the Palatine Light with their own eyes. So I can only like halfway believe it, I guess.
I have a friend out here. Apparently a lot of people can see it right around the December 26th through about the New Year. But if you had family who was on the island at the time when the Palatine happened, there was a lot of families that are still out here.
Right.
Some of those people can see it. Not all the time, but here and there. And I've heard a couple of reports of that. So it's pretty cool. State senators have seen it. It's not just the town drunks who see it.
Right. It's actual like people. Yeah, for sure. All right. So what else? I know there's a lot of isn't there like a pirate history out there in Block Island as well?
There is. Captain Kidd was on the island.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, that is a name. He spent about 3 weeks on the west side of the island with the Sands family, and
nice.
Like everywhere he stopped, legend has it that he buried some treasure here. None's been found. But we know that the lady, Mrs. Sands, who he did stay with, ended up leaving the island just after he left, and a lot of people assume that it's because he gave her some money, and then she went and bought 300 acres in Connecticut.
Yeah, probably.
And
I know there was it was pointed out to me on one of my trips out to Block Island that there was I don't know if it's like called Pirates Cove or there's a pirate area where the reef separates and you could bring a longshore boat through, and that's what they said. I don't know. It's probably just some silly legends, but I mean it could be true. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool stories like that. There's another story of a woman whose son left the island to go work on the ships, but she
Mm-hmm.
was one of those wreckers.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't know how true this story is. It could be just an island legend.
Mm-hmm.
But his boat ended up getting wrecked. He was
Mm-hmm.
on shore. She found him, and last words he heard were, "You know what we do out here," and that
Oh
was from
boy!
the mom to the son. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
Tough crowd.
Yeah, for sure. Lovely story though. So what else? What else you got? That's no, there's like a lot of even before white settlers was there, the natives were really pretty awful in the way they made war out there.
Well, Block Island was one of the one of the beginnings of the Pequot War. There was a
Yep.
trader called John Endicott who was doing trading with the Native Americans, and they're not sure if it was the Manasees
Yep.
that did it or it was the Narragansett boat that did it, but John Endicott and his whole crew got massacred, right off the shore of the island.
Right. Push them right
Uh,
off a cliff. That's
no, that's
that's later. Okay,
that's the Mohegan Bluffs. Yeah.
that's Mohegan Bluffs. Yeah. Okay. What's this? And where is it? Where is this at?
So this was right off the coast of the island, but John Endicott used to come to the island and trade.
Yeah.
Um, Either way, there was tensions right around the King Philip's War,
Mm.
and those guys ended up getting taken out by. They weren't sure if it was the island Indians or the Narragansett, and that's what really threw the flame into the tinderbox to really
Well,
get
the Narragansett were definitely involved. They were brought in by they were just attacked because they were suspected to be like harboring the Wampanoags, and then they were pretty pissed off about that. So I kind of get that.
Sure.
But but then there's like the Mohegan Bluff story, like where there was an invasion and they just the Manasees pushed the Pequot right off or the Mohegan, right?
The Mohegans.
Right off these like.
So the Mohegans sent over some warboats, and the Manasees figured out where they were coming, and they just basically formed a wall on the edge of this cliff, and they starved them out, and then when finally they were weak enough, they just came and they just pushed them right off the edge.
Oh,
yeah. So there's reports at the Mohegan Bluffs of wailing coming from down below them.
It's like folks are talking about. I mean, you can see iconic pictures of Mohegan Bluffs on Block Island, but you really don't get it. It's probably it's got to be at least like 200 feet high.
Yeah. It's beautiful, but it's
beautiful.
Dangerous.
But holy shit, it would be awful to be pushed off of these bluffs. And don't think you're gonna fall in the water and survive. Oh God, you would smash your head on a rock.
No, there's rocks all the way down.
It's pretty awful. Yeah, pretty awful way to go. What else haunts Block Island, Rick?
Well, I mean, there's just so much, and I like to joke about like even these rough and tumble sailor guys who live out here, the fisherman type will walk up to me and everyone's got a story and they'll be like, Rick, I don't believe in any of that crap. Right. But this one time, and then they go and they tell me an amazing story.
Of course.
And we keep on getting updates and it's never ending. So that's pretty neat,
Yeah.
Sure. We're doing a new story on the tour, so I'm not going to tell you the whole story. I'll just give you a couple of teasers. There was a pretty famous Newtown, Connecticut murder where a pilot took his wife and put her in a wood chipper.
Oh.
Yep, they found him. But his best friend, a couple months later, also an island resident and a Newtown resident, his wife went missing. And so we're just able to talk about this now because the gentleman in question, who I believe got away with 2 murders, he just passed away, and he would sue people beforehand who would tell this story. So we played the waiting game, and
nice.
And everyone goes at some point. So now we're gonna be able to talk about this story too. It's a really good one.
That'd be a fun story. Wood chippers are always a good time.
Hand drawn maps of the first wife who's murdered, driven written by the second wife.
Oh,
Some
wow.
really cool stuff.
Right out there in Black Island. Look at that. 13 miles, guys. Jump on the Black Island ferry. Jump on the slow ferry. Get out there in 50 minutes. I promise you won't be disappointed. Any of the hotels that are out there, I definitely haunted. I've heard. I know people that have owned what's the one down the end of the beach there, down the end of the road. The surf. I grew up with a kid who owned, and he used to tell me, buddy, you got to go there. I'm like, get me into it. I'd be happy to go there. I've seen photos from that place. It's like, what? Like, I'd love to investigate anywhere on Black Island.
Well, come on out, buddy. You're always welcome. And for people who want to come out, we toyed with the idea last year, but this year for sure, if people want to, they like the tour, but they want to dig a little bit deeper, that I'm going to be taking people out on doing some investigations.
Nice, dude.
So if they want to come and sit in and, actually spend some hours doing it as opposed to just bouncing around and getting some of the stories, we'll go to the Native American cemetery. I got a couple spots, private spots that we might be able to go to depending on who's around, but there's definitely enough to check out.
For sure. Homes, businesses, the beach, graveyards. Yeah, I'm sure there's. I myself have had many experiences on Black Island and recommend it to anybody looking for an experience. Go out there and definitely have one. So how long Black Island Ghost Tours, Rick? You've been doing this is your fifth season?
This is going to be year number 5.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it's a blast, and before I used to have a bar out here, so this is my first year where I can actually do it full time.
Right? Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You sold the bar the end of last season. Yeah.
Yep.
Good for you, man.
So it's exciting to actually be able to sink my teeth in it, and so we'll dig some more stuff up, and we're probably going to add just a regular history tour for those who want some of that unhaunted history.
For the softer side. Not really though. It's some brutal history. We've been out there. White settlers went out there in the 1640s, and then like we said, there was already bloody Indian conflicts out there for many years, and probably other people that visited the island that maybe never left. And it's just there's a lot. There's a lot of good stuff out there. A lot of native, there's Native American burial grounds, which is really cool. I've been yet to check one out, but
well, that's one of the places that if people do come out on a private investigation, that's definitely one of the spots I'll take them.
Really? Have you had anything happen?
It's active. People see disembodied bodies.
Really?
Lots of orbs, lots of everything. Yeah. It's pretty funny how haunted this place is.
That's cool. So what pushed you into the paranormal in the first place, Rick? What told you ghost tours? What led you to this?
Well, it really started when on the Key West walking tour. I don't know if people any of you guys go to Key West, but they have a fantastic ghost tour. It's more of a dark history tour.
Yeah.
And I went with my daughter years ago, and I was just thinking, why doesn't the island have this? Because there's enough dark history out here to go around. It wasn't necessarily going to be a ghost tour per se.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started to do the research and people started to catch wind that I was doing a dark history tour, out came all these ghost stories. And
woodwork.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop. It's all the time,
Especially at the time you owned a bar, so I imagine people would come in and be able to comfortably sit and relax. Because talking about a ghost, if you're not a really 100% a believer, and you're telling your story for the first time, you're worried that people might think you're crazy. People might think, oh, this guy's just some local drunk. He's seeing shit. There's that fear. There's that uncertainty how people are going to look at you. But to be able to share that with somebody and not only have them believe you, but be like, I think it's real. I think it's just awesome. It's really cool. So,
well, that's basically what happened to me. You know what I mean? I went from a dark history to a full blown now. I know I can go out and catch something. On the spirit box, or have them turn on a cat ball, or It's
Oh, dude, the cat balls are totally a thing. They're wicked cheap, and they're wicked effective, and they can't be manipulated by outside. Like the K2 is great, but like somebody's cell phone is going to set it off, and like, oh, that's a ghost. No, dude, you just got a text, and that's why it's going off like that. You know?
sure. And ever since we talked to that guy, remember the guy who was using the flashlights?
Yeah, dude. Oh, I love. Yeah,
Uh,
I forgot who
uh,
that is, but
they're great,
yeah,
because there's no connection there, and if they can turn them on and turn them off, with an intelligent responses, it's something. It can't be all coincidence,
no,
and
absolutely not, absolutely not.
it's it's showing people is a lot of fun as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. When you talk about the paranormal, the paranormals, of course, is an umbrella term. It doesn't just we don't just talk about ghosts, but it covers like UFOs, and I'm sure you guys gotta have such clear skies out there. You see every friggin' star I can imagine. UFOlogy that might exist out there. But any UFO stories, Rick?
Yeah, one of my good friends, he actually got a buddy when it was happening, but he said it looked like about 100,000 lights under the water,
Oh
all
wow,
coming into one,
yeah,
and then
under the water. That's cool.
under the water.
Yep.
Yeah, and he got a buddy to witness it, and then it just disappeared. Uh, so I love UFO stories.
Hmm.
And actually, do you know David Frazier? He's the guy who's the pilot for the TikTok video.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
His One of his squadron leaders, a woman named Alex. Oh God, the last name's escaping me because I'm under pressure. But she comes out to the island, and she's agreed to do a weekend with us this year.
Oh wow.
She was actually flying the plane next to him when they saw the TikTok. So she's testified in front of Congress.
Jesus.
She knows all the people who who do this.
Yeah.
So we'll put that on our website when we finally get it nailed down. But she's going to be
Yeah.
out for the weekend, and we're going to go listen to her talk, ask her questions, and maybe go do some stargazing.
UFO hunting. Yeah. Our guest next week. He got into it a few years ago. He's the curator of farm, so I have a very ghostly connection with him. But he started doing this UFO thing through. He was a grant writer, I think, for the same guy that we're talking about here. He was a Navy pilot, and
Mm-hmm.
he started after he retired from the Navy. He headed up this organization, this research project to test the safety of airlines in the atmosphere with like UAPs and UFOs. So the government is actually like funding a project to study this. Doesn't that kind of tell you that like they're like, okay, guys, UFOs are real? They're not saying it, but they're saying it.
No, but they did say it, buddy. They said it in
Yeah,
2017. They said this is out there, and I was expecting the world to go nuts, and
right.
nothing.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like nobody jumped on it. I don't know. Nobody believed it. Maybe I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
seeing is believing, but honestly, I don't need to see like War of the Worlds come down out of the sky to believe that there are aliens. I don't want to see all that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I honestly, people get upset at the government for covering up and lying and not telling people and not being honest. But do you think that people could really handle um to know all this shit? Do you think this would be something that people wouldn't freak the fuck out about? I don't know what.
Well, that's one of the theories is that they're slow dripping it right now to be able to, people get it enough in their system that
Trying to slowly baby feed us, spoon feed us a little bit. Yeah,
get us used to the idea before they drop they live among us.
yeah, and we have their technology, and you can thank them for cell phones and all those, yeah, all that great technology that exploded in the last 40 years. I don't know, maybe,
I
but
mean, there's something out there.
yeah,
There's enough proof, and um, there's a couple great documentaries. I think Disclosure was one of them,
hmm,
where it's all military people, it's all ex senators who are giving these interviews who are saying we don't know what it is,
yeah,
but it's something. So,
yep.
and I don't think it's technology it seems like it's technology that is so far advanced from anything we've ever seen
Oh,
that it would
yeah, blow
it
us
would
both
be
out of the water completely.
it would be hard for China or Russia to have these and us not know about it or to
Yeah,
copy it.
yeah, probably it's pretty to be able to travel across the galaxy, in a lifetime. It's probably pretty amazing in itself. God knows what else they can do.
Yeah,
Um, and I've talked to various people on the subject, and there's different races. There's like the gray people or the gray ones, and the
the
little
lizard
ones,
people.
the lizard people,
Oh
which I'm
yeah,
not even sure how much of that I believe, but I don't know.
sure. Yeah, no,
For all
I
this,
don't know, but I love the fact that it's a possibility,
hmm
and the fact that the government is saying, yeah, we know this is something, we don't know what it
hmm
is
and
fascinating to me.
if you guys look into it a little bit more, if you dig a little bit deeper, you might actually find like scholarly research papers, not just like not bullshit, not people blowing smoke up your ass. Actually, people that are like intelligent doing like research on this stuff. So it's I think it's definitely out there. It was Patrick sent me a video, and it was all like I don't know if it was the same one you were talking about, but it was all senators like fully admitting that this thing is a real form of military. Like this is a real guys that were a part of like these secret organizations run by the
Sure.
government to extract this technology. So it's
Oh yeah, I mean they have programs. I mean that ATIP is now out. It was Project Blue Book from back in the day,
yeah, right,
but these programs are real and they are going on now.
yeah,
So what are they studying if it's nothing?
yeah. It's is they definitely know more than they're putting out there anyway. But
Or it could just be a giant psyop and they're just getting us to
there's some really
chase.
cool. So there's some really cool survivor stories though. The guy from Fire in the Sky, I always reference him as that. Walton, Travis Walton.
Travis. Yep.
He has a really cool story, and he does tours and stuff. And then I think they're both dead, but the old couple from New Hampshire, Betty and oh shit, I
I know
forgot
he's
his. You know, what I mean,
Betty and
it, and something else. They were both little short people. That their story actually, if you go down like Route 116, south of like where the Bear Show is, it's like a convenience store, and their whole story is like muraled on the side of this building. It's really cool. But he was overwhelmed by the experience, fell into a Great Depression, and killed himself within a few years of this happening. And she went on to get her clinical degrees and counseled people who had like immensely traumatic experiences, like being abducted by UFOs. Um,
yeah, there's the guy
but
from Harvard who that's what he just spent years and years interviewing abductees and
yeah,
putting them under hypnosis
hmm
and people who didn't know each other and having the same exact story
very
over
very
and
similar
over
stories.
and over again. And of course,
Yeah,
the mainstream science and mainstream media, trash these people.
yeah, of
So,
course.
uh,
But mainstream media also like trashes people like you and I who believe there are spirits and that we can interact with them in the environment. So I mean, um, I think what I do is completely real. I don't know, but
yeah,
not everybody does. Um, it,
that's
it,
okay.
it's all right. It's good to have some skepticism. I don't believe like I'm not. You said orbs early. I'm not a big orb guy, Rick.
Sure,
Like maybe it's a thing, but it could be so many other things. That's where I have difficulty swallowing that pill.
sure.
Um, People talk about vortexes. I'm like, they're like, oh, there's a vortex under that staircase. I'm like, how did you come to that? How did you come to that? Well, there's so much activity. So there's a vortex. What is a vortex? It's a portal. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. I'm just like, they can just travel though, right? They can just go wherever they want to. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. You can't pretend to know either.
Mhm.
That's the thing. No one knows until you know.
True,
You know what I mean?
true.
But there's just not. You can't have it. All can't be coincidences.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm not 100% sold on is shadow people. I've seen shadowy figures out of the corner of my eye before. I've seen shadowy figures right in front of my face before. I cannot 100% say that it's a separate entity. How could it isn't this just light? Isn't it just like light hitting an object that we can't see? And I don't know. What are your thoughts on
Yes.
shadow people, Rick? Are they a demonic entity, or are they like just like the way light is passing through the anomaly?
Well, is there an anomaly?
Well, that's
Yeah.
my thought. That's my thought. It's an anomaly of some kind, and that's just the way. I don't know. Maybe that's the way we're seeing it. I don't know.
But you think it is a spirit of some sort?
I think it's I think it's spirit, but maybe it's it could be my grandfather. It could be
Sure.
Fred from up the street. It doesn't have to be an evil spirit. I just
Exactly. I agree
I
with
don't
you.
see any I don't see any connection to that. You know, I don't know.
No, I agree with you. It doesn't necessarily have to be the big bad shadow guy. You know, it
Right,
could just that they just might look like that. You
right,
know?
right. Could be, could be. Another paranormally thing. Although it's only happened like really once out there, but it's the I guess you could call it cryptozoology. The serpent that it was captured in a net, a fishing's net out there on the block. Um, uh, can you tell us any story about the serpent, Rick?
The Block Ness monster? Is that what
Block
you?
Ness monster.
Is
Yes, yes, yes. My
that?
wife used to tell me stories about. I'm like, this isn't true. It's like it is.
You know, it's funny. My girlfriend, somebody gave her, one of the original Block Ness monster shirts.
Oh,
So
nice.
I don't know what it was. I think there's a lot of things in the ocean. I
Yeah, for
think
sure.
it wasn't alive when they got it. It was dead.
Hmm.
But I know it spanned about 30 feet long.
Yeah,
And it was really nasty. And they
one hell of a sea snake, or I mean, there's tons of things at
yeah,
the bottom of the ocean that we don't even know exist. So,
exactly.
yeah, so it
Yeah,
could just be that. All right.
yeah. We haven't seen Bigfoot out here yet either. So
No,
yeah.
no, I doubt he would swim out. I don't know. Well, maybe he would swim out there, but I don't. So many people say that Bigfoot is just like either an alien or or like an actual spirit, like an actual elemental of some kind. They don't even. I don't. I still want to consider him an ape, but um, there's not a lot of proof to wrap around Bigfoot. So
I know. Somebody kill one, please. I want to see
yeah,
it.
right. Just find some scat in the woods or something. Like, not that I want to look at shit, but I mean, just something to show me that, all right, this came from something that
Yeah,
we don't know what it's from. I don't know, something. I don't know. You
yeah.
get people yelling in the woods, banging sticks on trees. I don't know, making these designs. I'm like, why couldn't a person just do that? I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
Another
Well,
thing, I just no offense to the Bigfooters out there, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. You can't suck me in.
In my younger, earlier days, I banged on some trees and hollered in the woods.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you went Bigfooting?
as
I know they have.
as one does.
I know they have like an organization in it's like Western Rhode Island, Eastern Connecticut, and they run around. It's a very rural part of the state. Anybody who's doesn't know it, there's a lot of woods. Um, I guess I don't know that anybody's ever seen anything though.
I know. I
Nothing
don't
to
know.
report, and
That's a
nothing to
tough one.
report.
That's a
Yeah,
tough one for me. That them Bigfoot and fairies.
yeah,
Unless I see a little fairy corpse, I'm not buying it.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of paranormal stuff, Rick, how do you feel about a fourth round draft pick for the New England Patriots? What do you think?
Oh, the fourth pick of the draft.
Where do you think they should go with this, Rick?
I think they got to take the running back. I think you got to take
Oh yeah,
Gentry.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, those are the other two. The two guys we want. Hunter and
Hunter's
Carter.
gonna be gone most likely.
Carter's going to be gone too, and
Yep.
the two we really need. Of course, we need an offensive lineman and we need a left tackle.
Hmm.
But those guys are going to be okay.
Yep.
Campbell and Mao, I forget the other name, but this running back is could be the real deal for 10 years.
Yeah, I heard he's pretty special. I didn't. Where's he coming out of? You know what school?
I think it's LSU.
Oh
Not
wow. Oh, there you go.
don't quote me on that, but he's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a Saquon Barkley type runner.
Oh, there you go.
Big,
Yeah.
strong.
Nice.
So I think our defense is looking real good.
Yeah.
Who knows what Stephon Diggs is going to do?
He was hurt. He's not going to come back till like mid October, early November. But he was out with the tear. But
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't do anything great in Houston last year. But holy shit, he made Josh Allen who Josh Allen is today. So I don't know. Maybe you can get lucky. You do the same thing for Drake May.
We got Josh McDaniels back calling the offense, which I love.
Really,
Give me some Patriots hate that. Yeah, if he's not running the whole organization, he's just focusing on Drake.
just offense.
Drake,
Yeah,
just offense.
just Drake's. Yeah, just keep Drake in his pocket. Put his arm around him. Talk nice to him. Say you're going to be good, Drake.
Yep.
He did wonderful things for Tom Brady. So I only can imagine that he'll be a thorn in my side again, as a non-New England Patriots fan living in New England. So
how do you think the Finns are going to be this year?
Oh, dude, the Finns give me diarrhea. I started talking about it in the beginning of the show. The Tyreek trade news. I don't think that's going to actually go anywhere unless they decide to use him as a chess piece in the draft. Why would they trade him? I mean, he's got a big mouth. He's an emotional clusterfuck. I think he's really not a great personality for the locker room, but he can run when he wants to run.
Oh, he's good when he wants to.
When he wants to play.
Sure.
When he wants it. Last year he sucked.
Yeah.
Tua went down. I'm like, all right, they got Waddle, they got Tyreek, they'll be fine. Nobody stepped up. They sucked. They were fucking terrible for holy shit most of the season.
What do you think happened?
Came back, what?
What do you think? Because the year before they looked like they were just a step away from being with the big boys.
Tua went down, and it's like, I know the whole team isn't Tua because he's not really that good, but the whole team was Tua because as soon as he came back, they started playing bomb again. I went to see the Dolphins Week 10 in Buffalo last year. We didn't win. We lost by a field goal right at the end of the game. They played tough the whole game. I'm like, holy shit, they like keeping up with the Bills, who absolutely devastated them in week 2 and took out Tua for the 8 weeks. But they looked like they were going to do something, and then. Yeah, they deflated in December, and the cold weather was too much. And we just now Jalen Ramsey is asking for a trade. That was fuck him too because his whole first year he was out. He came back like a third into last season, 2 seasons ago, and he was okay. And he was okay last year, but he hasn't done like what I hoped he would do for the defense. The whole Vic Fangio, what? We had him as a defensive coordinator, then he goes to Philly, and he wins the Super Bowl. That's another kick in the balls. The O-line, we got rid of Skylar Thompson, who was the worst football player of all time, and Tua's back up, and I don't know how they continued to sign this guy, and they released him, great, and then they signed fucking Zach Wilson, the kid from the Jets who flopped at the Jets, and then he was like third string last year in Denver. Like, what are you guys doing? You could have gone after somebody, not Aaron Rodgers, because I hate Aaron, but anybody with any kind of skill. And they didn't. And that's been my whole.
Hey, Rodgers is still out there. He said $10 million a year.
He does not want to play for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh seems like they wanted him, but they're not gonna dick around and wait on Aaron Rodgers.
Well, that's it. He's doing a meditation on ayahuasca somewhere.
He's such a bitch, dude. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I like him. I really.
Oh do. God.
I do.
Oh God. My co-host who comes in and out, Bams, he is in love with Aaron Rodgers, and he was so hoping that he would succeed with the Jets. I'm like, how can you root for the Jets, dude? You're like a season ticket Patriot holder. How can you root for the Jets? Oh, I love Aaron Rodgers. No, like, all right, you can respect them, but oh God,
yeah. My best friend's a Jets fan, and
that's too bad.
Every year he comes. This is our year. This is our year. Oh, it's hard to hard to watch.
Yeah, no. At least I can admit, like by week 3, that like we're gonna flop and fall on our faces, and I just slowly watch. I mean, it's painful, but I know what's gonna happen. I don't ever admit that, like, hey, this is our year. We're gonna win it all. I would be afraid to say that, dude. I would never say something like that. That's
bad juju.
Oh God, it's wicked bad juju.
Well, at least your third string quarterback didn't cost you the first round of the draft pick. That was great for us last year.
Dude, he's a good. I mean, he sucked in that game, but I mean, he's going out there to beef himself up a bit because he knows he's going to get traded. But I saw him play preseason. I took some clients to Patriots versus Carolina, the first game of the preseason. It was so cold. It was August. And we tailgated. We had a good time. No alcohol, of course, because I was with clients. But I mean, went in there. And he played majority. We saw Drake May run like 4 downs, and he sucked. And that other nitwit that they had throwing for them, Brissett, he was terrible. And then Joe came in for 3/4 of the game and kicked ass. He was running, he was throwing, he was electrifying. I'm like, wow, this guy's scary. I hope that Drake May gets the job because this guy's scary. Although he went to Dallas, so nothing's it's like going to Cleveland. I feel like is
well, he's going to be third string over there. You know, so
it's a waste. He's a good quarterback. That's too bad. That's really a shame.
Yeah.
I think McDaniels. He's got one year left. I think I've been wanting him to fire Chris Grant for at least 5 or 6 years now. The GM, he's just continues to be terrible. I don't expect anything out of this season, to be honest with you. I'm hoping the Red Sox turn it around. It's only April, but every game is like painful. They're in the lead right now. I still got to hold my breath with the Sox though, because they're just like I don't know. You a baseball guy, Rick?
Not really. It's all purgatory until football starts up again. You know.
Yeah. Right.
Right. I'll watch the Celtics. I'll watch some college basketball.
Yeah.
But I'm just
pretty good. The Celtics are on fire right now. They
they're good.
Knock on wood, I've been saying it for a month now. I think they're gonna go back to back here. I think I think if they can make it past the Cavaliers, I don't think anybody can really stop them. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Have you been watching any of the Karen Reed trial?
No, it's on the news. I see it every now and again. What's going on? What's the updates on that?
It just started. So opening statements for today, and they started to get. What a fascinating case. I don't know what to believe. Either she killed him or the cops killed him. Or
he just, didn't he like die? So wait, she hit him with a car or left him to die in the snow? How did that?
She says she drove away.
Yep.
And he went in the house and he ended up dead. People in the house said that she ran him over. And there's all sorts of shenanigans going on by both sides. So,
and this is like the second trial, or this is like
Right. It was a hung jury the first trial.
The first one. Yeah.
So today was the first day of the trial, and I had nothing to do today because I just got back from Mom's house in Smithfield for 2 weeks. So I was watching the old highlights today.
Yeah, nice.
So what we do on the wintertime in Block Island. Well, it's spring now, but
it's spring. Season starts May over there? What time is your
Memorial Day is when it really kicks off, but even now the boats, if the weather's good, the boats are starting to fill up, and there's a lot of strangers around. So
season's always a great time to go over there, dude. In my
absolutely.
September is like the best time of all time, because everything's kind of
September, October. Shangri-La.
All the friggin' New Yorkers that go back to New York, and
all the college kids are back at school. Everything's still open. The big fish are here. If you like fishing.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I just got a new reel. I went to LLB and I spent $200 in like 5 minutes. I bought a new saltwater reel. I drove up to Maine about 3 weeks ago now. There was a beer release at Maine Brewing Company, of course, and they only brew it like 3 times a year. So I'm like, I gotta go. And I had just got my taxes. I'm like, fuck it. And I drove up to Maine. It took me like 2.5 hours to get up there, up to where is it, in Freeport, Maine. And I got a whole case of dinner and breakfast, mostly breakfast, and some dinner, and I got some water and woods. It's really great stuff. And I'm like, but when I got there, it was like 10:30. I'm like, oh shit, they got another half hour before they open. We go to Al Bean and peruse. Next thing, $200 later. Yeah, he's got a new reel, and it's quite nice.
Well, whenever you're ready to get that wheel wet, come on out, man.
I'm so ready. I'm seeing people catching stripers already on
the schoolies are here. So
yeah, for sure. Well, that's good, Rick. Anywhere people can find you, find Block Island Ghost Tours, anything that's going on with you guys.
BlockIslandGhostTours.com. We're on all social media. Block Island Ghost Tours. Yeah, and starting, this week, we're going to start rolling out. We're going to do a couple promotions where if you get your tickets early, we're going to give you a discount.
Nice. You got
So,
one on you roll on the socials. You post updates on the social media frequently. Yeah.
yeah, we're starting to break out of our hibernation mode now, so you'll start seeing it more and more as the next couple weeks come.
How do you spell that? Block Island. Hold on. Let me. I have a banner prepared that I was supposed to be running the entire show, and of course I just looked at my beer and I got. So this is it, right? BlockIslandGhostTours.com.
That's it.
That's it. Just find them on Facebook. Find them on BlockIslandTours.com. Go out to Block Island. It's a lovely place. Lovely people. Lovely town. Lovely small. It's very small towny. Kind of feel out there on Block Island, except in July when there's like 25,000 people out there.
Yeah.
But definitely check all that stuff out. Rick, it's been a pleasure seeing you again, dude. I
Buddy,
generally go any amount of time. I'm exhausted tonight, and I can hear my dog barking down the hallway. So
gotcha. Well, buddy, always a pleasure, brother.
Awesome, always a pleasure seeing you again, Rick. Check out Block Island check out Block Island Ghost Tours. For Rick Lysik, I'm Buddy Thayer. This has been the Ghost and the Goat. Tune in next week as I bring up my phone, as I got to look at my calendar because I'm not quite prepared. As we welcome Patrick Donovan next week. He is the curator of the Varnum Memorial Armory, the place that I'm raising money for. He is also involved in this UFO stuff. And Patrick's going to bring all sorts of mind-blowing shit in your face. You're going to see it all. He sends me links all the time. It's like, holy shit.
Awesome.
Just a little bit of the stuff we were talking about tonight, just like way more spread out. So tune in next. Three Dudes Brews, the last call. We're going to be doing the light beer challenge. We're going to do light beers, various light beer lagers, and ultra light. See if we can tell the difference between the beers and all that fun stuff. So yeah, have a great week. See you all next week, and go Red Sox.
Cheers.